Hi, this is going to be a very different piece of content from anything that I have ever put out before. There are a number of things regarding the current civil unrest in our country that I feel like I can no longer be silent about and I need to express. I got into social media content creation specifically because I was tired of not having a voice and tired of watching other people not have a voice for them. Over the last week or so, I have hardly eaten, I have hardly slept. I have not been posting content of my usual sort because I cannot stop thinking about what is happening in our country. I cannot and have not been silent on this issue, but I felt the need to come together and put together a piece of content that would explain briefly and accurately generally how I feel. I try not to bring religion into any of my content. That said, I do identify as a Christian, and I do hold to a number of things in the Bible as personal mantras. One of the main things that I hold myself to and expect out of other people, whether they are of my creed or not, is a passage from James chapter 4, verse 17. It says, "For him that knows the right thing to do and fails to do it, for him it is sin." I cannot sit by and watch evil things happen when I know that the correct and right thing to do is to speak about it. There's another quote from Mario Savio from 1964 that has been weighing very heavily on my conscience and tends to in times like this. And he said, "There is a time when the operation of the machine becomes so odious, makes you so sick at heart, that you can't take part. You can't even passively take part. And you've got to put your bodies upon the gears and upon the wheels, upon the levers, upon all the apparatus. And you've got to make it stop. And you've got to indicate to the people who run it, to the people who own it, that unless you're free, the machine will be prevented from working at all." I'm going to be honest. I've never been scared to make a piece of content before. This is the first time I have ever felt that way. But it needs to be said, and that feeling only reinforces that to me more. To me, a country is not free in which any one of its members are not free. Most of you who follow me on social media do not know my background. These people are protesting the same oppression that caused my great-grandfather to be abandoned as a baby to keep him out of government boarding schools. The same system of oppression that forced my Cree great-grandmother to hide her ethnicity and her heritage from her own children for her entire life to protect them from prejudice and hatred. So when I see this happening, I understand. This is personal to me. The system that is costing these people their families right now is the reason I will never know half of mine. This trauma runs deep, it runs through generations, it is evil, and it is painful. When I see these people protesting and rioting, I don't see thugs. I see my family. I see my Irish ancestors who spearheaded the modern race riot. I see my people who, when they came across the ocean, were considered another race, complete with science, showing how their skulls were less developed than the civilized white man, who couldn't even get jobs digging ditches, yet were asked to fight this country's wars. My ancestors rioted and burned and tore down everything they had to in order to be treated equally as human beings in this country. If that's what it took for me to be seen as a human being, how can I possibly condemn those brave men and women and what they are doing right now? How dare someone like me stand between them and the freedom that I have known and enjoyed my entire life? If you are a Doyle, an O'Connor, a Fitzgerald, an O'Reilly, a Kennedy, a Ryan, an O'Sullivan, a Murphy, a Joyce, You have no room to stand between these people and freedom from oppression. These are your forefathers. Help them fight for what we have. The same applies if you're of Italian descent. Do not tarnish the work of those who came before us. Build upon it. We did not get here to stand idly by while others tried to get where we are now. If what I have said has made you uncomfortable, it should. Life, growth, and progress are uncomfortable things. They are important, and we need them. Black lives matter. I don't want to hear you say all lives matter. Black lives are a subset of all lives, and they're the ones in danger. If I ask you if you like ketchup, you do not respond by saying that you like all condiments and that all condiments matter to you. It is a yes or no question, and you answer it accordingly. So is the subject of Black lives in this country. They are the ones most in danger right now. If you truly believe that all lives matter, you should have no trouble admitting that Black lives matter. That is all I have to say for now. Please be kind to one another. Peace.